Thank you for tuning in to Success in 2016. We're live broadcasting from the Enclave in Houston in the Energy Corridor, and we hold this event every month on the third Wednesday of the month. So I invite you to check us out, and first Wednesday of the month, and you can find us on on Eventbrite. And this has primarily been a live type of a seminar setup, but we're transitioning into a mastermind setup, so make sure you get some information on that. So make sure you follow us on Spreaker. And so today we're going to talk about, we've got a couple guests with us. We've got Red O'Laughlin. He's an author and a speaker. And we've also got Victor Escalante's with us today about some important things about authors and speakers. And Red's going to be talking about some health topics, so you're going to walk away with some actionable items. So we each got about 10 minutes apiece, so we're going to get right into it. So again, thanks for showing up today and tuning in to the Success in 2016 event here in Houston, Texas. And I just want to start off with, as a business owner, sometimes, or even as an entrepreneur or an author, or if you have a product that you're offering to the public, you sometimes think about needing clients. You know, you think in your mind that, and Victor will touch on this a little bit more in his presentation, but as a business owner, you have a thought process where you need clients. And that's true in a sense, but I want to set you up for success going forward in a thought process that's a little different. So I want you to imagine with me for a minute, and if you got a pen and a piece of paper, I want you to write out, or I want you to draw a railroad track. I want you to draw a top view of a railroad track across your entire piece of paper, and I want you to envision with me this, at the end, at the beginning of your track is the train station where your train's at, and then the track. So what's the object, or what's the objective of you being in business? Of course you want to have clients, right? But I want you to think in a process of having a train route, or having the route is all that you're responsible for. So the route, it represents your business. So you build the tracks, you're expanding your route. So the next thing is you want people to get on your train, right? So you can finance your business. So let's think about it this way. You've got your track built, and think about what are the ways that people can get on your train. How do you get passengers on your train? And that's what I talk about in my extensive presentations about you attracting customers to your business. And most of us are understand traditional marketing, understand traditional ways of bringing on clients, but I want to stretch your mind a little bit today and make it so, or show you a way to attract customers to your track without being needy, or to your route without being needy. So, you want to build the track so prospective clients can hop on the train. So how many ways do you have for clients to get on your train? So let's look at a couple of them. One way is, how are you showing up when somebody looks for your name? Now, you notice I said your name, not your business name. How are you showing up? What does it look like? Do you have depots where people can get on your train? Now, on your piece of paper, I want you to write or draw at the top of your train track squares and stretch them out across your track. And those depots are ways that people can get on your train. One way of getting on your train is having your own podcast. So people can hear your message and hear the way that you relieve a problem in the marketplace. One of the second ways that you can have as a depot is by, when they search your name, what is it that they find that you are the go-to person or the expert that they're looking for? What does that look like? That depot could be a YouTube channel, or that depot could be an article that you've written for a significant magazine or your own magazine. So think of the ways of people that can interact with you and get on your train. And every day, your only mission in life is to run the route. The goal is to run your route and make sure that you have your depots up to speed or your depots available so people can come into the depot and get on your train so you can earn a living. And the more ways that you have people to get on your train is going to equal success. Okay? Everybody visions success in their own way. I had somebody tell me last night their particular success is I get up every morning, I get to do what I want to do and love every day, and I can't ask for anything more than that. So the success is having the track available, run the track in your train because you're the director. Stop saying I need clients, because nobody likes a needy train, and start putting into place the depots where people can get on your train by positioning yourself, how they can interact with you either through webinars, through podcasts, through books, through products. Make sure those are in place so you can continue to expand your track and people can get on your train and you can be successful. So I wanted to share that with you today. I've got two other guests with me here today, as I explained. I've got Victor Escalante, and he's going to take you through some processes. And you can go ahead and give him a round of applause. And we'll bring him in here in just a second. Victor, welcome to the show and welcome to the stage.
Thank you, T. Allen. Hello, everyone. What I want to talk to you about is the emotional fuel of your train. Imagine that you know where you're going. Your train, final destination is a money supply. And you've created this train where you want clients to hop on board your plane along the depot. However, your train has no fuel. How are you ever going to make it? I'm using that as a metaphor because there are some days that you may be having a down day because emotionally something happened to you that you just don't have enough emotional fuel to be able to go from point A to point B. So what I want to talk to you about is managing your emotional states, because emotional states can either empower you or they can defeat you. On a bad day, like that famous saying says, fatigue makes cowards of us all. And if you are emotionally defeated, you're not going to be able to run that train. So what I want to talk to you about is how to leverage your mind in order to be able to have a bullet train to get you faster there to your destination of the money source, the money pot, the sweet spot that we all aspire to have enough paying clients of the ideal type of client that we want to work with, that we want to service, that's going to lead to satisfaction, happiness, and success. So let's say that you are having a bad day. Maybe a business deal didn't pan out as you had set your expectations, or maybe something blew up that day on you, as business tends to happen. and you're just feeling like you just don't have the emotional fuel. So here's what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to, as an exercise, I'm going to ask you to pick a recent experience that you have been through, something that within the last month that just thinking about that experience makes you feel bad. It's like that experience was so negative that just thinking about it makes you feel bad right now. So I want you to close your eyes and imagine seeing that experience in front of you as though you were sitting in a movie theater. See that you from the past inside that movie and see the events unfolding over there. And what I want you to do is to take out all the color, turn it into a black and white movie. By doing that, you are neutralizing the emotions of that experience. This is what happens in movies, is when you see a scene in black and white, the mind represents that as something from the past. And so by taking that negative experience and washing out all the color to where it's in black and white, what you are in effect doing is taking out the emotional charge, the emotional spike that experience had. The next thing that I want you to do is to slightly blur the image, that movie that's playing in front of you. Blur it to where it's slightly out of focus. By doing that, the brain represents it as no longer that important. And then what I want you to do is to take out all the sound out of that movie. Whatever is being said to you, whatever you are saying to others, take out all the sound to where that movie is now a silent movie. And in the background, I want you to, just like in the old-timey silent movies, imagine the piano music playing in the background, like do 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 do. By doing that, what you are in effect doing is you're also neutralizing another of the modalities of the brain that encodes it and lets you know that was a negative experience. And by altering the sound, what you are doing now is contaminating the memory. You are literally reprogramming that memory to where that memory will never play the same in your mind. As a result of replaying it and altering the different modalities, what you are in effect doing is neutralizing it. The brain will no longer represent it as being that significant or important to you, and it will begin to fade. Another thing that I want you to do is now imagine that only you are in color in that movie and everything else is in black and white. By putting you in color, what you are in effect doing is making yourself more important than what actually happened or the meaning that you gave to that experience. And as a result of that, it no longer has the charge or the spike that it used to have. Now what I want you to do is to be outrageous and put a halo on top of you in that scene. By doing that, again, you are now altering the memory and you are blowing it out of reality because now it's unreal. Imagine Chevy Chase standing behind you like he used to mimic people on Saturday Night Live, and imagine him making faces or behind you or in front of the other person if there was another person involved. If this applies to your memory, to your movie. And now what I want you to do is to take that movie and push it out. Push it way out to where it's so far out that it's about the size of the screen of a phone. And notice how you feel totally disconnected. Notice the effect that this memory has, and notice how your emotions are changing or have already changed permanently towards that movie. And now for the final part of this is I want you to imagine bring that scene back, and I want you to move it over to your left, out about 20 feet, because that's where the mind stores the past. By doing that, this movie now will never play the same again in your mind. The meaning has been altered, and you are now free from that negative experience. This is something you can apply on a daily basis on how to play your in the theater of your mind the movies that you want to play. Now, the flip side of that is if you want to get motivated, imagine a movie theater again. See yourself in there. See yourself bigger than life size, in color, with bright colors. Imagine the soundtrack of an empowering song like Rocky or anything else, and see yourself as a dress rehearsal of coming attractions. And that's all I have to share with you, my friends. Any other techniques that you would like to learn, be sure to follow T. Allen, because this is the sort of techniques that we teach you at Success 2016.
All right. Thank you very much, Victor. That's some great nuggets for the audience. Make sure you take that into action and make sure you go back and listen to the broadcast so you can get that down. So our next guest speaker is Red O'Laughlin. He's an author and a speaker, and he's going to share some health tips with you. Red, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Tracy. About 20 years ago, I decided I wanted to lose a little bit of weight. And Atkins at that time was very prevalent. So I read literally probably 5 books on Atkins because I wanted to know what I was getting into. And I thought, hey, this is great. That's what I want to do. So I went ahead and I started on it, and eggs and cheese and bacon and sausage and steak and hamburger. No carbohydrates, no breads, no sugars, nothing. I thought that was the best thing going. Literally, in about 2 months, I dropped about 40 pounds. And my next job in the military was to go over to Italy. I ended up actually over to Europe. I ended up in Germany for about 2 years. And I had dropped probably 50, 55 pounds. I was probably the best shape of my life. And I would go down to Italy, and I had this craving for pasta and for bread. I would go down there, pig out over a weekend, 2-3 days, come back, and find myself 12, 13 pounds heavier than when I left. Well, it was all water weight gain. And when I came back, it would take me 2 weeks on my Atkins diet to lose it. Not a problem. That's what I did. Did that for a couple of years. I kept the Atkins program going for about 6 years of my life. Then all of a sudden, I ended up with an opportunity in a medical exam to have my bone density checked. It had never been checked in my life. Turned out I was osteopenia, and it just came as a major surprise to me because I could not understand why. I lifted weights for a lot of my life, a lot of running. I figured I probably had some of the strongest bones going. As part of my passion in life is to research why are things the way they are, especially anything dealing with the medical, health, wellness, fitness, etc. So I found out that bone density is very dependent on the pH of your blood. If you allow your blood pH to alter, one of the options the body has is to go into your bones and leach calcium out to keep the calcium levels in your blood constant. Unknown to me for 6 years, because of my dietary choices, I had caused my body to leach calcium from my bones and make them weaker. Osteopenia. Not quite osteoporosis, but osteopenia. So as I was looking at this thing, I'm saying, I never read any of this in Atkins. And if I jump ahead another 10, 15 years, I find out even today's books on Atkins, they don't even talk about it. But how do you get strong bones and how do you keep them that way? It's very simple. You have to have an absorbable kind of calcium. Most of the stuff you find in the store is calcium carbonate. Very difficult to absorb in the body. You need food with it. Just not a good choice. But it's cheap, and that's what's out there. In having calcium as part of your food group, what you also have to have is magnesium. Magnesium in food is pretty plentiful, but most people, as with calcium, are deficient in it. If you have calcium and magnesium, the magnesium causes the calcium to actually be acceptable for entry into your body. As it leaves your stomach, your duodenum, the calcium now is able to get into the bloodstream, but only if you have enough levels of vitamin D3 in your body. That's a sunshine vitamin. If you're not taking it supplementally, you're probably not getting enough. If you live north of I-10, guarantee you're not getting enough. It's just one of those things in life. We have to supplement with vitamin D3, and most of us, the vast majority of us, are deficient in it. Let's assume right now you have vitamin D3. It ends up in the bloodstream. Now you have a double-edged sword. You have the calcium where you want it, but if you don't have enough vitamin K2, it's going to end up in your heart valves and arteries, not where you want them. You want them in your bones. So you need vitamin K2 to get it into the bones. If it doesn't end up there, it ends up in your heart valves and arteries. If you don't have vitamin D3, everything ends up in the toilet. So it's just one of those situations. Well, how do you keep your body from leaching calcium from your bones? You have to have an alkaline diet. Meats, any kind of protein, it doesn't matter. Any kind of oil, it doesn't matter. Any kind of carbohydrate, it doesn't matter. They're all alkaline. They're all acidic. You eat those, and your body's going to leach calcium from your bones, guaranteed. You have to have more fruits and vegetables than you have proteins and carbohydrates in order to have an alkaline body. That alkaline body prevents your body from extracting calcium to maintain a pH in the body. Your pH of your blood should be around 7.4, give or take just a little bit. If you were to take in your pH every day, I take mine morning and night, and usually at night when I go to bed, it's 7.6, 7.8, 7.9. When I wake up in the morning, 7.2, 7.3, 7.3 this morning. And it's one of those things that you ought to be tracking, but you also have to change your diet. You can't have excess amounts of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates and still expect to balance it off in a nutritious way with vegetables and fruits. In following that same mindset, that same thought pattern, you really have to have balanced nutrition across the board, because if you're deficient in, let's say, vitamin B12, for instance, it mimics Alzheimer's. There's a lot of vitamin deficiencies that if you're not getting a totally balanced meal, you're going to have problems with some other aspect of your life. So in reiteration, you have to have balanced diet, more heavily on the fruits and vegetables, which contain all the vitamins and minerals you need, just about most of them. There are a few in there that are difficult. You have to have good quality meats and oils, fats, but you really don't need a plethora of carbohydrates. But it's one of those things that if you're not aware of it, every single day you're doing what you did, and you'll end up with results that you're not expecting. T. Allen, it's back to you.
Awesome. Where can people find more information about what you have?
RedOlaughlin.com. That's R-E-D, like the color, O'Laughlin, OLAUGHLIN.com.
Awesome. Thank you. And Victor, you have a book that's just been published. How can we get more information on that?
Yes, you can reach me at escalante.victor@yahoo.com, and the book is entitled Courageous Living. This is the biography of a very interesting man that I met years ago. He was a Jesuit scholar who left the priesthood to go to work in Wall Street. And in his biography, I take you through all the different avenues and the different experiences that he went through, and the wisdom of his experience, the distillation of takeaway information that you can learn from his experience.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So, awesome guest, and that's the quality of the content that we provide every month at the Success in 2016 events. It's now a mastermind session, so make sure that you follow up with us and look in the content section and find out more about that. So if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, speaker, or author, this is a mastermind that you need to be a part of, because of the content that we're going to be sharing with you is going to take you to the next level. I'm very grateful for Victor Escalante. He prepared me for speaking at Harvard, and I just can't, it was phenomenal of what and how he prepared me for that. So if you're stuck, or if you're looking for ways to get to the next level, this is a must-attend event. Also, if you're having challenges with your health, you've got Red O'Laughlin, who's very knowledgeable and an expert in that field as well, that he can help you overcome those challenges. So at the Enclave in the Energy Corridor in Houston is where we're located. And you can also find us on Eventbrite. You just search Success in 2016, and you can see that there and register. So I appreciate you tuning in today. If you find out any more information about me, you can go to the authoritycodebook.com. The authoritycodebook.com is my new book. use the exact formula to become the hunted versus the hunter for more leads, sales, and profits. So glad you enjoyed the show. Tune in next month for another version of this, or we'll see you here live in the audience and we can meet you and interact with you. So that's this edition. We'll see you the next time. Have a great day.